What's up, everybody? Welcome to our Move the Needle podcast, episode number
41.
And the guy is on it today.
I was on it today.
Yeah.
I knew that, and I had to be.
You had to be, because otherwise we would have said something dangerous like 42.
The first time, Matthew didn't know what episode it was, and I did. The first time ever.
We're going to celebrate it. So anyways, we have an incredible show for you guys today. We are at the brand new, I guess it's not brand new, but it's fairly new. It's new to you.
New to me. I've been here a few times, but yeah, it's new to the community for sure. The first year, I'd say that's considered
6 months
new.
ago today, actually. They opened up boutique on Boston. So,
perfectly.
Yeah, great show today. We want to say thanks really quick to Brooklyn V's, the Darwin Wall Real Estate Team, and Tutor Doctor. You guys have a look at this. And then when we come back, we're going to sit down with Mindy Jones right here on our Move the Needle podcast.
At Brooklyn V's, we bring the taste of Brooklyn right here to Arizona. Our family's been serving up real Italian food for generations, and every dish is made with love, just like Nonna used to make. From classic spaghetti and meatballs to layers of cheesy lasagna, stuffed shells, and the best New York-style pizza in town. Every bite is pure Italian comfort. And if you haven't tried our world-famous cheesecake, well, you're missing out. It's been rated one of the best in the area, and once you taste it, you'll know why. So come hungry, leave happy, and enjoy a little slice of Brooklyn right here in Arizona.
Howdy, this luxury home will blow your mind. Watch until the end to see a feature that your dog will write you a thank you note for, if they could. Spoil your pup in style with this custom-made dog wash.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 41, Steve.
You got it this time, my man.
Move the Needle podcast. We have such a good show for you today. We're at the boutique on Boston. We're going to get a fashion show. Denise McCreery is going to come in, and she's going to walk us through some of the offerings that are in here. Kim Moyers from the City of Chandler is going to join us. But as promised, first, we're going to sit down with Mindy Jones, who's you've got a whole bunch of stuff going on in your life, Mindy Jones.
She walks in, she introduced herself to me. I'm like, I think I know who you are, Mindy. I mean, if you don't recognize her face, she does an amazing job branding, and she's out there for sure. To your point.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, no sweat. So, I mean, I have on my list that you're the owner and realtor of the Amy Jones Group, founder of Community on Purpose, Exactly What to Say certified, and a certified Q3L coach. And I don't know what that means, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
And you forgot a busy mom, too.
Oh.
And
That's
mom.
right. That's right. 75% of my brain goes to raising an almost 6-year-old child who pushes me every day to
be your best.
That's right. And also do everything differently than I've ever done it before.
So you stacked all that stuff up, and she finished up with 75% on the
That's
other
right.
direction.
That's
Just
right.
Not there.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Nope, we do it all, right? That's what busy moms do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's a load, and how you carry it is what separates you from other people, right? So, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. So, what do you fill the other 25% of your brain with?
Well, we have to stretch 100% in every direction, right? So I'm the owner of the Amy Jones Group. So it's a residential real estate team that I've had for over a decade right here in the Southeast Valley. We help hundreds of families every year, empowering them through real estate. So that might be for themselves making moves. We do a lot of relocation, families who are making the Valley a home for themselves, helping a lot of people move parents. So we have a lot of active adult communities right here in Chandler. And so we've got a lot of kids who are helping their parents make big moves. And we're helping people connect to their communities. So about 2 years ago, we started a nonprofit organization called Community on Purpose.
Love that name.
Thank you. And you'll find that On Purpose brand in many places throughout the work that we do. You'll hear a lot of people say that community happens organically or naturally. And we call kind of BS on that.
I was thinking BS on that.
Those are people that join in on the party.
Yeah.
Of course the party's going on.
That's right.
Who started the party?
Yeah. And what what they're typically referring to is that it feels right for them. So they're speaking often to alignment, but we believe that things happen on purpose. And so we started that organization to serve other organizations supporting youth and families throughout the Valley. And we run that right alongside our real estate business.
So how are you supporting youth and families?
So we've been in existence for the last 2 years officially, but I got my start on the second grade playground as a peer mediator, where I started a peer mediation group helping others. And so I've repeated that model now in dozens of organizations throughout the Valley. So in the last 2 years alone, we've given tens of thousands of dollars direct support. We have created nonprofit volunteer opportunities. We've worked with ICANN and House of Refuge and the Closed Cabin and Jacob's Mission and Shannon's Giving and dozens of others to help them with volunteer friend raising and fundraising also.
So you're busy.
Yeah, it's interesting. That was my first question. I read about that peer mediation group, and I was so interested in that. I mean, that would lead to my first question. Think about, since you brought that up,
Sure.
right at the top of mind, what if that second grade Mindy saw yourself today?
Yeah.
What would she say? Imagine what she built. Is this what you imagined or something different?
I think that where my journey in life takes me is a lot credited to the people that show up on that journey along the way. And so I think the mission behind second grade Mindy was that I believed that if people could feel seen and heard, that they would feel empowered to make better choices for themselves. And I also have believed very strongly that the people who succeed are the people that know how to communicate. And so I've always worked hard to help people not only be seen, but to know how to advocate for themselves. And so in high school, a lot of the work that I did was around suicide prevention. I started a literary magazine so people could express themselves. And then as I got older and traveled to different phases of my life, I got married, I had a son. Prior to that, I had a stepson. I've gotten divorced. I've built a real estate team. I own a local coaching business. And so I really started to empower those who were on similar journeys as me. So lots of work with other moms who are building businesses for themselves. I have corporate clients who are trying to connect better with their teams and show that leadership and service can go hand in hand together, and all while helping families settle and relocate in the Valley. So to me, there's a crossover in all of them that I probably never could have predicted as a second grader.
How can moms be better advocates for themselves? Because parents, we should say parents in general,
Sure.
right? But like anybody who's really got their hooks in their kids in a major way,
Yeah.
it's really easy to kind of put yourself second, third, fourth, fifth. Maybe you don't even make the list. So from the teachings that you do and the people that you've talked to, what's coming to mind right now is I say, how can parents be better advocates for themselves?
Yeah, a few things. I think, one of the most powerful lessons that I've learned from my son is that I want to be the best version of myself so that I'm an example for him of what he can look for as an adult and certainly in a partner. And so that is the biggest motivator for me. And when I look at, for example, being an entrepreneur and being a single mom, I want my son to be exposed to all of the challenges and how those different parts of me are integrated and how we as a family show up to bring our business to life, and take him to volunteer with us on the nonprofit side and meet our clients on the corporate side, because I don't want him to, in the future, choose an entrepreneurial path like many of us have with parents who didn't pave the way for us in that way. And then for us to say, why can't we do it all? Why is this so hard? Why am I having these challenges at home? We have the ability to show and highlight for them the ups, the downs, the things we've learned along the way, so that they don't have to start from scratch in their 40s trying to figure out, how do I make all of this work together? So I think that's really the biggest thing that parents can do is say, if you can't do it for yourself, which often is hard because they are truly the single most important pieces of our life, they are a piece of us, then do it for them in the sense that show them what it can look like.
It's a great answer. Very good answer. When I go out and I do some speaking, I have this little exercise that I do with everybody. And I say, and I'm stealing this from Dr. Frank Bavacqua, but he, when I met Dr. Frank maybe like 10 years ago, he challenged me. He said, I want you to open a piece of paper and write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he said, write down the 5 most important people in your life on that list, right? And like everybody, you know, I listed my wife and my kids and my friends. And then he said, so how come your name's not on the list? And that's what you're talking about, right? Essentially, is like making sure that you show up on the list is like number one, because that's the example that you're setting for everybody else.
Yeah, and often you'll do it through their lens, right? I think that's the challenge for most parents, is that you look at how much time do you have available in the day, and at the end of the day, you know, I run 3 businesses, and like I said, I dedicated a huge part of my mental capacity and my emotional capacity to showing up the type of mom that I want for him, but there isn't a shortage of time to be the model that I want for him.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about this exactly what to say bit. That's the most intriguing part of it all to me.
Yeah, amazing.
How did that start up?
I don't know if you're familiar with the author, but Phil M. Jones wrote a book called Exactly What to Say.
Okay.
And I first met him in around 2018 when the commercial copy of the book became available. And he was in partnership with a marketing company who I am a brand ambassador for today called Curator. And they're based out of the Bay Area. And his philosophies are based around the idea that curiosity truly is the key to building empathy for others. And
Without
so
question.
often I meet people and they'll say, well, I'm an empathetic person, or I'm empathetic. And I say, well, you cannot be empathetic without understanding where someone is coming from. And you cannot understand where someone is coming from without asking them questions. And so all of his ideas are really based on, if we stay and we sit in curiosity for longer, we can dance our way over to empathy by ultimately hitting that show me that you know me button. And we all have it, right? It's that you walk into a room, you may not know somebody, you're a little, tense or guarded, and then they say something like, oh, hey, you look familiar, right? Or, oh, hey, we have those same pants, right? They do something that brings your guard down, and it's because they've hit that button, and you're like, oh, this person gets me, this person is like me, right? And then ultimately your conversations flow a little bit better from that point. And so once you have that empathy, you then feel a little more courageous to ask questions. Maybe it's to ask to get into business together. Maybe it's to ask to do something together, be friends, lead some partnership together, whatever it is. But you cannot have that courage before you've built some relatability with the other person.
One of the things I think about is, I think a lot of people would like to be curious, but their shyness or insecurities and like that kind of stuff can get in the way of them even engaging in conversation. So do you coach men and women alike on like how to burst that bubble a little bit?
That's right. So the number one reason that we don't ask is why?
We already made judgment.
Yeah, maybe. It could also be that we're afraid of what the response might be, right? I think a lot of people, they're afraid of getting a no, which is another form of judgment, right? Or someone will reject them. And so because people are so afraid of judgment, of rejection,
The walls go up.
then they don't ask, right? And we know if you do not ask and you do not get, right? We believe that people's successes are the accumulation of the quantity of quality asks that we make. Right. And so a lot of the coaching that I do is to help leaders communicate better with their teams. So build brands that are based on culture because they come from a place of curiosity and building empathy. And then also sales coaching direct to consumer to help those conversations happen with less friction. So most sales coaching that you'll find out there is actually what you would call like objection handling, right?
Right.
So
they say this, you say this.
That's right. So lots of scripting back and forth. The problem with that is that the other person is not getting that same script training that you are. And then we're also teaching them to ultimately create more friction in their relationships. And then when they get to the end, give them like that quick 1-2 punch, that snarky response, right? But if there are winners and losers in a conversation, then the loser is going to feel some sort of way about that. So instead of teaching people to handle objections, we like to teach them to prevent them from happening at all, which comes from increasing your curiosity at the beginning of your conversation. So we give them word choices to use to open conversations.
For example?
So you could ask someone like, just out of curiosity, right? Which allows you to ask a little bit more of a direct question, but with a softer entrance to it.
Yes.
You could open up the suggestion for having the conversation you want to have with something like, I'm not sure if it's for you, but... right? And so what
Love
happens with an I'm not sure if it's for you, but if you say, I'm not sure if it's for you, that little voice in your head is like, whoa, I'll be the one to decide that, right? And then we say, I'm not sure if it's for you, but, and the but forces you to push forward, right? So if someone says, oh, you look so great, it's so nice to meet you, thank you so much for coming today, but I really don't like those shoes, the only part you'll remember is the but right?
I don't like those shoes.
That's right. So in sales, we're taught that but is a bad word. It's not that but is a bad word, but is a pivot word, right? So if we say, I'm not sure if it's for you, you lean forward a bit and say, I'm the person that's going to decide that, not you. Then we say, but, and then we propose what it is that we want to potentially work together on. That is where your brain is now focused, is on the after part. So we give them strategies, we give them tools, we give them potential language to use.
Love that.
But more so we help them shift from let's move fast to get to our outcome. Instead, let's slow down to speed up the outcome, because instead of handling a bunch of objections at the end, we will likely prevent a lot of them from happening in the first place.
I love this. I talk about it all the time. People need runway in conversations. And if you can set it up a little bit, you know, one of the things I'm notorious for saying is, this question might be a little messy, but, and then I ask it, right? And because I'm setting the table for this to be a little clunky of a conversation, I'm letting everybody know, like, that's okay. I don't care if this is a perfect thing. I'm just here in the spirit of figuring this out. What are you hearing here, Steve?
What I'm hearing is that I was trained as well, Mindy, on this. I'm going to a shout out to a book called Secrets of Question-Based Selling. You probably have heard of that. It's a bestseller as well. And what it does is it teaches professionals as well when you're in a situation. And the biggest compliment I used to get is after a client would sign a contract is I've never felt like you tried to sell me anything, and that's based on question-based selling. If you're asking the right questions, because people will tell you, and you don't ultimately you don't want to. If you can't help somebody, you're not going to be able to. And so it's about asking. It's about asking the right questions. And so I think that's what I get out of it. And so peeling back down to what I get out of it, two things. If we all stood outside of judgment. And stepped in curiosity, it would immediately go to empathy, because when you're curious, it softens. It just softens the tone of your life.
For sure.
That's what I got of it. Stepping out of judgment, though. That's what came. Did you see me? I was right away with that. So to me, that's like. So if we could all do that, like, because we all have stories. I mean, when you're driving out of here on your way to your speaking engagement, and you're on your way, and I'm on my way, and sometimes we get frustrated and that. So in the business setting, it's a lot easier when we're cultured to practice it, but when we're out in sometimes civilization.
Isn't it also important to note, though, like, this takes practice. Like,
That's
this takes reps, and you won't get it right away.
Yeah.
No, there's no mastering these things. These are practices. Like yoga is a practice, or exercising is a practice. It is truly a muscle. So I say all the time, in the weeks where I have multiple engagements that are specifically focused on this, whether it's my coaching programs or it's through our nonprofit or through our real estate conversations, all of my conversations go better because I'm practicing that muscle. So as a teacher in the workshop space, or as a mentor to my agents, in those weeks where I have multiple opportunities to talk about this, I am more patient as a mom. I'm able to work through situations that he's having at school or with friends, and come from a place of curiosity, as opposed to what happens often is people come from a place of certainty. And you know that when someone comes to you, right? You can think of those situations where someone is like so sure that you should do something, right? I mean, we all have parents, thank God mine are still alive. And, you know, if you have those parental figures in your life, they often come to you from a place of certainty, and it comes from experience. And so sometimes our experience is what keeps us from being effective. But we come from this place of certainty, and certainty actually creates uncertainty in the other person, right? It's like you're so sure, they're like, I'll be the one to decide that. Right. Whereas if we came from a place of curiosity, we can create certainty in others.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the hot docket,
Yeah,
Steve,
okay,
as
the
we
hot
wind
docket.
down
So
with Mindy
I've got
Jones?
a couple. So, I mean, I'm interested to hear if there's the answer to this, if there is one, okay? Because you help empower people and find their voice. Is there, my question was, what's one thing you still struggle to say out loud, if there is one, even with all your experience in communication?
Great
Is there
question.
something personally that you still struggle with?
Sure. I mean, I think that I struggle with confidence. I think that as much as I help others and empower others, I am so committed to constant and continuous growth. I am very introspective. I always look at the opportunity to do better next time. That it's very easy to look back and see how far I have come. And I've had to be very aware of that in raising a son who I want to be confident, because I see a lot of very similar tendencies in him. He's very into Legos right now, and he pushes himself to the max. So he's almost 6, doing 18 plus Legos for age, because he did a 8 plus and he could do it. So then you could not do any more 8 plus. He did 1, that was all he needed.
The challenge, and he's up
Then
for
it was
next.
10 plus. He did that fine. Now he could do 18 plus. So I see a lot of this challenge for more.
That's cool.
And I remind him that there is a yin and a yang to that. There is a push yourself and be challenged and look for more and grow. And also, it's okay when you've accomplished things to recognize that they are now easier for you to do. And so I think, having him has really forced me to put a mirror up to myself and say, hey, you probably could benefit from a little bit of that conversation too.
About that, because you just got to 18 plus Legos last week, right?
Actually, I was lying. I'm still not there.
You're not
But
there, yeah. No, I'm
I had
not
to
either.
say that for the show.
I don't touch
Gosh.
anything above 16 plus, man. It is
You
way
busted
too
me.
much for me.
And since you brought up mom, I did have my one bonus question was regarding a mom. Okay, and this is with your real estate. What's the most mom thing you've ever done in the middle of closing a real estate deal?
Well, I failed to mention that I run the Amy Jones group, which is all women.
Okay.
So by design, we have 12 women who
Oh,
are
wow.
momming our clients from the very beginning of the transaction. And it's truly what separates them.
But you're the mother hen.
I-
That's what they call it,
Yes,
right?
I am often momming them, and then they are momming their
Right,
clients.
okay.
The most mom thing, I think the thing that we do most is just make sure that our clients have plan A, B, and C at every step of the process.
Like we're going to meet here at 8 o'clock. Please be here at 8 o'clock.
No, it's like, we can control a lot of things that happen throughout the process. And we are also working in partnership with people that I do not employ. And so as much as I've built an incredible brand reputation locally and have a lot of say, I just need to text people and things miraculously start moving again. I cannot control all the people that at some point will interject inside of the transaction. But what I can do is I can prepare our clients to ensure that no matter what, they always have a plan B and C that we have helped them walk through to reduce as much of the stress associated with moving, with downsizing, with relocating, with helping family members. I mean, we've had family members pass away during transactions. We've had sellers of properties pass away during transactions. We've helped people ensure that they're talking to lawyers to get power of attorneys and estates set up mid-transaction just because we get an inkling that something might happen. So the most mom thing we do is we try to look 5 steps ahead at all times.
Because moms are playing chess, not checkers.
Moms are 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not surprised. I've heard amazing things really about you and your team for a bit. So I was, again, excited to have you on and poke around some of these other amazing things you're doing in the community as well.
What's the front door you want everybody to walk through? You want them to come through the real estate door? You want them to come through the coaching door? Where do you want to send our audience right now?
Luckily, I'm very easy to find on social, so you can find me on Instagram at Mindy E. Jones, and you will find links at the top to all of those things. They all overlap. So where I want them to meet me is exactly where they're at today.
You ready to buy a house?
Yes.
Go see her. You ready to get curious? Go see her.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all this kind
Any
of cool
mom
stuff.
advice?
Go see her. Yeah, absolutely. Need help building Legos?
Go
see
see
him.
Go see her son.
All right, Mindy Jones, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Appreciate it.
I'm
Thank you,
glad
Mindy.
you're so introspective because it's helped you be the person that I think a lot of folks need right now. So good for you.
Appreciate you.
All right, Steve, how about this? We take a quick break.
Quick break.
Come on back. We're going to be sitting down with Kim Moyers from the City of Chandler, and then we've got a fashion show coming up
We
at
do
the end of the
another one,
podcast
yeah.
today.
Our second.
There'll
So,
be
it's a
less
little bit
visible
different.
skin on this one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so-
Our first one was at a lingerie store, and
I
so
watched it.
yeah, right. So
It's been viewed
there was a
lot.
lot more
It's one of
skin.
our-
Right.
It's actually one of our most viewed episodes
Of
per
course.
minute. But-
Of course. Is it
So-
hard to figure out why?
I know, exactly.
No. Awesome. Mindy,
Thank you,
thanks again.
Mindy.
All right, we'll take a quick
Yes.
break and we'll see everybody for segment 2 here in just a
Thank you
minute.
so much.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Awatuki, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
Well, welcome back to segment number 2 of our Move the Needle podcast. This is episode number 41. We're live from the Boutique on Boston. This
Yes.
place has been open now for about 6 months, and we're sitting down with one of the folks who's purchased clothing from Boutique on
I sure
Boston.
have.
Yes.
I complimented her on her dress, and she said, "Oh, I picked that up here."
Absolutely.
This is Kim Moyers, who works with the City of Chandler, which I'm guessing your office is across the street.
It is. It's
Yeah.
at City Hall. Yep.
So you're in this hood all the time.
She's walking.
This
I
is dangerous for you
am
to be this close to this
Yeah, I actually started in downtown. I was the downtown redevelopment manager for 5.5 years before I became a director. So the downtown is my baby. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. I love every one of these shops and restaurants. And
Especially Divine Gourmet and Boutique on Boston.
I
yes.
like to spend my money here.
Yeah. She started the fashion show already.
Yeah, I know. You could be one of the models.
Yeah.
So you've been with the City of Chandler 10 years. You're the Cultural Development Director.
That's right.
So what does that mean? What does that entail? How do you touch the City of Chandler?
Yeah, it's funny because I was just telling people today we should have been called the Director of Fun. I love our department because we get to do some great things. My department is made up of a lot of our destination drivers. The downtown is part of that, the Center for the Arts, the museum, and all special events on private and public property. So if you want to have a good time, you're probably being touched
Yes,
by
yeah.
us, and so I feel very fortunate. And we spend a lot of time making sure that we have entertainment options for our residents, but also those destination drivers to bring people from outside of the community to be here. Because let's face it, when you're going out to dinner, you don't really care what city you're in, do you?
Right.
Like you're going down the 202, you're heading for a destination. So our goal is how do we make Chandler your destination? So that's what we work really hard on.
You've done a great job. This downtown area is fantastic.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. How did you even get into this line of work?
It is a great question. I'm actually from Kokomo, Indiana. And
Kokomo?
Kokomo, Indiana, which is about an
Okay.
hour north of Indianapolis.
Way down in Kokomo.
Kokomo Beach has nothing to do with
Nothing
it.
at all.
Nothing, no. But I've been here 20 years.
Okay.
And when I was in college by some weird association.
Shout out to the Hoosiers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Hoosier. I got into the work of the Chamber of Commerce, and that led me to downtown work. And downtowns just need special care and attention. They almost work as their own little micro city. And I started doing that in Indiana. And when I came to Arizona, I felt like a fish out of water. I had graduated from the same school. I could go to my kids' ball games, and my teachers were still there. And as a matter of fact, my son had my 5th grade teacher when he was in 5th grade.
That's so
just
cool.
very small community.
Yes.
So when I came to Arizona, it is really a big place, right?
Yeah.
And how do you feel that sense of place? And it was Downtown Chandler that gave me that sense of place. So when I ended up getting to work here a few years after I moved here, I felt like I hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Then when I became the cultural development director, I was just like, all my dreams came true. Like, this is just all the things I love all wrapped up in one.
So cool.
Yes.
Who are the veterans of Downtown Chandler? Like, who's been here? Who are the OGs?
Oh, yeah, we do have
terms
some
of businesses,
OGs.
yeah.
Sure. Santan Brewery,
Yeah.
number one.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Anthony, he's now passed, but he really was the one who took a leap of faith and started the revolution.
Saw the vision.
Here. Saw the vision. Niels Krepke is another one that's been around here for a long time. Peter Shaka. Then we have some property owners that have been around for decades and decades. The Sabas, Mr. Hall, who passed a couple years ago, super important to the community. And I always tell the story with Mr. Hall that he really wanted to see a retail place down here, and so did we. Unfortunately, retailers have a very difficult time. It's a high overhead, and you have to make sure you sell a certain amount of product to be profitable, right? And that's why we do this. He actually lowered the rent rates to get in the kind of business that he wanted here, just because it was that important to him that Downtown Chandler was a destination.
The business culture.
Yeah. So he cared more about the end use than his profits, and we just are full. Our whole downtown is full of people just like that.
Is there space available now? Are you looking for any new tenants, or are you pretty much tapped?
You know, it's been a wonderful transition. I just reached my 11 years. And when I first came 11 years ago, we did have some space even in the square. And when I would reach out to people and say, do you want to be part of Downtown Chandler? They were like, sure, in the square. And we could try to find some space. As that filled up, migration continues to the south. And people pretty much know now if you want to be in downtown, you're going to have to go outside of what we consider the historic square. And we've seen that redevelopment continue through the years down south, and we're putting in all of the infrastructure needed to make entry into the downtown as quick as possible and economical as possible.
Yeah,
Okay,
you-
go ahead,
You've
Steve,
done
and
a
then
great
I've
job
got
of
a few
that.
more here.
I noticed it because I'm one of the destinations. I don't live down here, so
Yes.
I come down here quite a bit.
Yes.
And I've noticed that from both ways. From
Yeah.
sometimes I come from Tempe, I come from this way, and you come this way. And so you're right. That's been an amazing thing. The access, and they've done a nice job with the aesthetics too. It's nice. It looks very pleasing.
That's an important part of what we do, placemaking.
Right.
And so, you know, we are constantly trying to make sure that we are super clean, that that we're very safe, that our parking garages are well lit, so that the entire experience from the time you come to the time you leave, that you feel safe. You feel like your wife and her friends could come down here and that you don't have to be the security, right? That's super important to us. So we work hard on that. Same thing with Arizona Avenue. We finished Arizona Avenue from Pecos up to Fry a few years ago, because when you come off of the 202, we want that to be a pleasurable experience to getting into downtown, and we wanted them to see that's the future of our downtown. As we continue to migrate south, that eventually is going to be seen as part of our downtown.
So you want to push this way?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
That
yep.
makes a lot of sense. And there's a lot of upside to that, right? Getting off the freeway and being right in it
Yes.
is obviously very cool. Do you mind if I jump in
Jump
really
in.
quick? I asked about the veterans. Who are some of the newcomers here to Downtown Chandler that you're really excited about outside of the boutique on Boston?
Well, can I say the boutique on
Yeah, for
Boston
sure.
as well?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Denise is doing the happy dance.
You know, Denise will tell you about the time that I called her to say, let's go to lunch. I have this vision that I think that Divine Gourmet needs to be down here. I just saw it. When we think about the retail that we needed in downtown, I felt like she was that perfect destination and that walkability that people need. Sometimes you don't even know what you need until you walk in there. So she was kind of that perfect business for us.
And person. I mean,
in
her-
person,
yes, really.
absolutely. And then when she wanted to then expand into a boutique, we were all about that. So we really handhold a lot of our investors, and that's what they are, right? They invest into the downtown. They are all, we do not have chains in our downtown. The people who are greeting you at the front doors are probably the owners of it. And so they care deeply about their investment into the downtown. So we try to make that barrier, we try to eliminate those barriers of entry. We try to make it as easy as possible for them so that they can focus on what they do best.
Do you have chains that try to get into this
sure.
area and you're like, sorry?
Sorry, we have a zoning. It's called the CCD, the City Center District. And
Okay.
within that district, which is basically the historic square, we do not allow any chains. And we also don't allow office in this area. So we want this to be very friendly for residents and for visitors. Now, obviously, there's office in our downtown. And office is an important part of our downtown because that provides people during the day to eat and to shop during the day, and then our attractions are more in the evenings to bring people on nights and weekends. We've also had a push for multifamily. Multifamily
Interesting.
is an important part of where do you get your coffee in the morning? Where are you getting your drink in the evening? So we've really tried to create this balance in our downtown that keeps us recession-proof.
Beautiful. Hit him with the hard
Mike-
stuff. Hit him with the hard
The
stuff.
hard stuff goes back to Indiana. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
going
easy.
to throw it back. So if you could bring anything from Indiana to downtown Chandler here, what would it be?
It's a good question, Steve.
That is a great question.
What's missing?
In our downtown?
How about the summer
from-
weather?
from-
How
from-
about the summer weather?
In the summer
From
weather.
Indiana, what's something that you just
Well, I'll tell you something that we're working on that has been a dream of mine from the beginning.
there we
And
go.
if you, as you guys leave, look down Arizona Avenue.
Okay.
And we have added flowers, we've added color, and we've added tree grates and some landscaping fencing. That has been a dream of mine. Usually when you go to downtowns in Indiana, they have the big flower pots hanging off of poles, and there's a lot of color. And I felt like that was something that we
Okay.
could, that's a
love that.
placemaking
Yeah.
element. And so I thought that was something that we could add that really brings that hometown feel. And so we've added that along Arizona Avenue, and the next step, you'll start seeing them on the light poles that you see as well.
It is a really nice touch, and I'm sure you've heard this. If you don't hear any good things about it, don't worry. People will love it. The people don't say
Yes.
bad things. You know what I'm saying? So when they drive by,
Yes.
and you're like, I wonder if people like it. They love it.
Well,
Trust
they
me,
don't
they
even
love
know
it.
that we didn't have it necessarily
Right.
before, right? It's just part of that
beautiful.
feel.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's
Yeah.
nice.
Good.
It's nice.
So you guys
hear
are
that.
doing events at the Chandler Center for the Arts, Vision Gallery, Chandler Museum. Obviously, there's a lot of downtown events. How do you keep your sanity planning all of these events? Because it is such a lift, especially in the world of like back and forth and, oh, hey, don't forget about this. And
We have some amazing managers that
There it
I
is.
work with. Our Center for the Arts has been led by Michelle McLennan for almost 30 years.
Wow.
We have Jody Crago, who is all things Chandler. Like you ask, if you want to know the history behind anything Chandler, Jody is your guy, and he's with the museum.
Book them, Dan. Book her,
let's-
Dan.
Yeah,
Get her on
oh.
the. Let's do that.
Jody, you will not have to say a word. You just give him a topic, and he will talk for the next 30 minutes. He is amazing. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Wow.
So, and then we have a manager, Hermelinda Lamas, who's been here for years and years for special events. And then Lauren Cole, who is in charge of the downtown area now.
so the answer
So
is employ good people.
you have to employ
Yeah.
good people, but good people who care. We are a nights and weekends kind of person. We don't work a traditional 8 to 5 all the time. Unfortunately, they need to be here 8 to 5 too. So when you find the people who are passionate about what they
Passion.
do, they're not looking at a time clock. They're just looking at finding that result. And the result is providing arts and culture to our community. And again, giving those people a sense of place and a sense of belonging. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
I want to move to Chandler.
You
Screw
well,
Awatuki.
yeah.
They're waiting for you.
begging
Trust me,
for
they're,
us to
they're
come
begging
out.
for you.
Yeah.
You got a realtor. I mean, you got
Yes.
realtors.
We'll
all
get the
over
kids
place.
out of kids out of high school. and
Yeah,
then we'll,
yeah.
and then we'll think about relocation.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're having a blast. I mean,
I'm
your
having a
positive
blast.
energy is like
as radiant as the
Radiant.
green dress,
Yes.
right?
Hey, that's
For
great
sure.
to hear.
Absolutely.
A lot more to do. I mean, we
Yeah.
have, and I think that that's part of what our department has is vision. We have 20 years worth of work to do, and we have to be patient and systematic about how we do that. But it's a continual search for and improved processes, improved acts, improved what does our community look like? What kind of things do we want to provide to our community? Where are we lacking, and what do we need to add? So that is a constant discussion within our department.
Fair enough.
So here's a big one then.
Okay.
All right, is
So-
this the finale?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be.
All
So
right.
you survived years of redevelopment meetings, zoning drama. I read.
Yeah.
Event logistics. Okay. All sorts of chaotic things with the city, launching city festivals. But be honest, what's more chaotic? That stuff or babysitting your grandkids on sugar all hopped up?
Listen, I'm going to say it's a wonderful balance.
Okay.
Because my grandkids, I have 4 grandkids.
Yes.
They are my everything.
I read about that, yes.
You did. You
Yes,
are.
I
Everybody
do.
knows. If you know me, you know that my 4 grandchildren are amazing to me. They are the balance I need for all the hard work I do. There are times at the end of the weekend I say, "Get me back to work," where
exactly.
people have to listen to what I'm saying.
Give me back to the
because they don't have to.
Give me back to the chaos of zoning.
Yes.
Zoning meetings.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it.
How old are the kids, the grandkids?
So my grandchildren are 8. I have 2 5-year-olds and a 2-year-old, and
Lord.
we are constantly hiking, biking, camping, tripping. Like we're always doing something. So we love spending
Sounds
time with
fun.
them. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kim, for
Yes.
showing up today.
You're so welcome. You
Yes.
guys made it easy. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Great
a
message.
lot of exciting
really.
things happening in Chandler.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is good stuff. All right. Well, here's the plan, friends. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Denise McCreery is going to be sitting right there, and you will see some of the amazing offerings inside Boutique on Boston. We'll see you in just a minute. Hi there. My name is Matthew Blades.
And I'm Steve Petz, and together we host the YouTube and podcast series Move the Needle.
And we're reaching out to you because we're looking for incredible guests in our community who are doing just that, moving the needle. So who are you thinking?
Restaurant owners, business owners,
Yes.
educators, coaches.
Professional baseball, football, basketball, whatever, former athletes, nonprofit leaders, speakers, authors. If you're moving the needle in our community, we'd love to feature you on our podcast.
Really, if you're a person of impact, positive impact, trying to transform
You don't want
people's
anybody
life-
with negative impact?
No negative
Okay,
impact.
that
No
seems fair.
negativity. That's the only criteria. How about that?
All right, if you're interested in being a guest on our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series, hit the link below, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back to segment number 3 of our Move the Needle podcast. Today, we're here
Yes.
with a veteran of the Move the Needle
Yes,
podcast.
the first repeat guest.
I am,
Yes,
actually.
you're the first repeat.
Sweet. I
Yes.
love that.
And it's almost been
I
a
love
year,
it.
if you could believe that. It's
I'm
going on.
honored. I'm
Kinda
honored.
shocking.
Thank you.
Yeah, last time around we were hanging out at the Divine Gourmet, and I was being talked into purchasing all kinds of incredible stuff.
No peer pressure. No.
No, that was me talking myself into it. I was like, you need to buy that.
I
you need to buy that.
I just got
you
the
need to buy
caramels,
that.
and I was awfully happy with
Yeah?
the caramels.
And I just
bought
got the
that-
wine.
I bought that mustard that I still can taste. I mean, it was. I have to go back and grab some after
Yeah.
we're done here. But we're in your new spot. We're in Boutique on Boston now.
Yeah.
This wasn't even a thought when I spoke with you two last.
You sure?
Really?
Well, not a thought?
It was not even a thought. Well,
Wow.
it was an inkling. It was a little dream and a desire.
dream it
Yes,
was.
it was.
There
but
was.
it was not in production at the time.
So why boutique? Why Boston?
Great question. Why boutique? Is there are not enough boutiques in downtown Chandler?
closer to that,
That's
yeah.
right. I'm sorry. I keep thinking I'm talking to you. There are not enough boutiques in downtown Chandler, and we own the gift shop around the corner. And I honestly did have my eye on this corner. It's a beautiful corner, and I've been waiting. Well, as Kim had mentioned, I'd even been calling her saying, "Where is a space ready to open?" So as soon as this space opened, I signed the lease. And then I went out to the community and said, "What are we doing, gang? What do you all want to see here?" And it was literally the community of Chandler that said would like to see a woman's boutique specifically. And on Boston, because we're on Boston
Yes.
Street. Now, ironically, I'm from the Boston area. But it's 100% because we're on Boston
And,
Street.
and it's very Boston-esque.
It's very Boston-esque. It's wicked glamorous.
Yes, wicked.
Wicked glamorous.
Wicked
Yeah.
glamour.
Yeah.
Wicked glamour.
There she goes, pulling out the jargon. So it is unique women's fashion and accessories.
It is. We're 100% boutique-y. We have nothing in here that you can find at a big box store.
Right.
Everything everything in here is from boutique makers, and I've tried really hard to find as much made in USA as I can find, which is difficult, but I'm trying to support other young startup companies, other women-owned designers that are here for the same purpose that I'm here. So everything in here is very unique. We order in small batches because we don't want everybody looking the same. But yeah, when you
Makes
support
sense.
our boutique, you're supporting independent lines all over.
Curious about local dressmakers, clothing makers. Are there?
You know
some
what,
here in
Matt,
Arizona?
there's not. I've been
Yeah.
looking, and if there are any out there, please tell me, because I would love to support a local designer. There are purse makers and jewelers and hat makers, of which we do carry in the store, but I would love to find some startup woman's designer that I could help support and trunk show and get lifted. Absolutely.
Pension any entrepreneurs out there?
Absolutely. If you can
Let's do
sew,
Start.
Yeah, I know a gal
do it.
who takes old jeans and makes them into groovy new pieces.
go.
I'm working on her though.
So we're getting ready for this fashion show
Yes.
today. We've got a couple of our the guests who were just on today's
I
episode.
love
I
this.
see are
Yes.
going to be in this show. So Kim, Sue, Tabitha, Shelby, Anna, Mindy, they're all going to be coming down the runway here. How do you describe this store to your friends?
Oh, that's a good question. It's, we're not fast fashion, but we're not Nordstrom's either. We've got a little something for every woman in here, every size, every shape, every diversity. We're just a really nice boutique. If you like fashion, you're going to like this store. And you may not find something today, but come back next week. You'll find something next week.
I like that tagline. If you like fashion, you're going to like this store.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Absolutely.
Just stay there.
Absolutely. Well, hashtag follow the fashion.
Yeah, there you go. I
Absolutely.
When
love
I
that.
walked in here, what I thought was, I was like, it's kind of like Anthropologie meets Nordstrom. It's
I
got
like
this,
that.
It's got a little bit of the things you would expect to find at a,
Yep.
at a department store. Your staples, your dresses, your sweaters,
The cool
purses.
fixtures, the great lighting.
But then, with like Anthropologie, it's got like these really unique looks too
Right.
that you don't find at every store.
Right.
So it feels like a good blending of the both.
When we first started, I said we were like a Free People meets the San Marcos Resort.
There it is.
I think that we're very Chandler-esque here. If you're staying at one of the hotels and you need an outfit, actually the very first outfit we sold the day we opened on November 5th was a guest from the San Marcos Resort who did not bring the right dress for an event, and she was our first purchase.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, let's have a look at what's waiting
and
for us.
So, by the way, Matthew's super. If you didn't know this, he's a fashionista. We've talked this many
He's looking
shows.
pretty fly
Yes,
over
he is.
here.
He's always
Yeah,
fly.
yeah.
But that's why he's got the questions. He's ready to go with this thing. Trust me.
I
love
He's
a good
geared up.
fashion
He
show.
loves a good fashion
You don't
show.
have to be just a
Absolutely.
girl for
I'm
fashion.
gearing him up for this.
Absolutely. Well, I have to tell you, I was thrilled when Kim from the city came in today
Yes.
on the podcast, and she was wearing a dress from Boutique on Boston. Kim, that dress on you is fantastic.
It's a great green.
It's gorgeous. It's paparazzi. It's called a bodycon dress, and it is meant to fit your body in a nice, little tight hug. You look fantastic in
does.
it.
It
Yep.
looks very
and
nice.
we have it
But
in
then
gold
it's like built
and
for
green.
Arizona heat too.
It is.
Very
It's
classy.
Very classy, very thin. And you could probably roll that up and put it in your bag as you go to board a cruise ship. It's that travelable. It's very elegant. And Kim, you could also throw it with a pair of Keds and a baseball hat and you'd be ready to go. You look stunning. Yeah.
What do you call it? Like emerald green?
Emerald green. Yep. It's called a column dress. And that's by one of our favorite designers out of LA, Paparazzi.
Okay.
Yep.
You said a column dress?
Column dress. Yeah.
column
Because it's
dress.
cut like a column.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Very cool.
And that
Thank you,
dress is
Kim.
gorgeous on many women, but you've got to have somewhat of a column shape to really pull it off.
Okay. So
Yep.
Sue's rolling up next.
Well, speaking of pulling it off, this is my friend Sue. How cute
Look at
is
those
that
jeans.
outfit?
The
I
whole
know.
outfit
Give
is
us a
great.
twist. Okay.
Look at those jeans.
Hello. Sue is wearing one of my favorite outfits. Now, ladies, if you know fashion, those jeans are Miss Me jeans. Miss Me jeans, which were super popular in the 2000s, and they are back, and they make everybody's booty look beautiful.
Yeah.
Love the
Very
jeans
nice.
and that jacket. Can we
They
see
do.
the back of that jacket
They're
again?
good butt jeans. Like, and
They
that's
are
really
good.
They
important.
are.
And
they're
not every
rock and
pair of
roll.
jeans is a good pair of butt jeans.
No.
And
But
we
those
can
are
actually
good butt
say
jeans.
that because this is what we're
Absolutely.
doing right
And
now.
look at that cute rock and roll jacket. You may not know this about Sue, but that jacket is her personality. You are my rock and roll friend.
Look
Peace,
at her.
sister.
Look at her.
Woo!
Get
Look
it,
at that.
get it. That's
Yeah.
so good.
Way to go,
And she
Sue.
can walk backwards on a
Yes.
runway. That's a
Look at
talent.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
We are, yes.
Tabitha's rolling up next. and
Oh, my
I love this
gosh.
look, right? Like,
Okay,
I'm such a fan of hats,
look at the
but
hat,
not everybody
yes.
can wear them.
Not everybody can wear hats. Tabitha, Tabitha has been with the Divine Gourmet Boutique on Boston family for 14 years.
Wow.
And that dress is so
Congratulations.
fabulous. When I was shopping in Las Vegas, I saw this dress and I thought, this dress looks like Tabitha. I don't know. And I called her and I FaceTimed her and I said, is this a cute dress? And she's like, it's a cute dress. And dang it, Sister, you were right. Can we get another look at the back?
Yeah.
That is so
Well, the ruffles,
cute.
the way that
Yep.
it comes out in the back is great. I love the detail of the white.
Yeah.
It's got this great sort of Southwest flair to
It is.
Yeah.
It's very it's very flattering on your body, and it's got kind of a little house on the prairie thing going on, which is very in style this season.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Little House on the
It
Prairie.
is
Bring it back,
country.
huh?
Bring it back. Tabitha,
Wow.
you look gorgeous, and thank you for convincing me to buy that dress. Yeah. And you look like you feel good in it. Yeah. That's a great
She does.
smile.
Beautiful.
All right,
Yeah.
Shelby's
Beautiful,
rolling in
Tabitha.
next.
Shelby's strutting in what are we calling these? Golf clothes,
Very
pickleball
comfy
clothes.
looking, that's for sure.
Well, I saw on your website it says from golf skirts to cocktail dresses. We have
Yeah.
something for everybody.
We
So-
do, and her golf skirts have cocktails on them. How magical
Right.
is that? Shelby is a friend of mine, retired golf, pickleball. You do it all, right? You hike. You're very sporty spice. Absolutely. Those skirts and that blouse are made by a company called Lulu Bee out of Florida. They're performance wear. Both
awesome.
pieces are SPF 50, so you'll keep your cheeks not burned while you're out on the par 5, right? And they've also got cooling technology, so you and the girls will stay cool all golf session long. You look great. What I like about that, Shelby, is I feel like you could just grab a bag and go hit happy hour in that outfit, just as you are. You could throw on some sandals if you needed to, but you look super cute. Yeah, how's your
love
game?
us.
Is that are you gonna play? Are you gonna do a good game with that one? You think? Dang
Awesome.
it!
Love it.
Absolutely.
She said, I'm going to wear this tomorrow.
I
and
love
go
that.
home."
I love it.
All
I
right,
love it.
So Anna's stepping into the party.
Oh my
next.
gosh! Speaking of sporty spice, how cute is Anna?
I mean,
Anna
you
is
could wear that dress to almost anything.
anything.
Almost anything.
Well, and the fact that she's got it styled today with a ponytail and tennies, super cute, sporty spice. Anna is a senior at Basha High School, by the way, and I love that dress. I think with heels and the right jewelry, she could go to homecoming or
100%.
prom. But right now, you could go out on a date. You could go to
Put a little
church.
jean jacket over the top of it.
Yeah, that is
Dad says no dates yet.
super cute. No dates.
No
No,
dates yet.
she's a
Oh,
senior.
I'm just kidding.
Come on.
Just joking.
She just got done with senior prom.
I know. I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
Just throwing
Anna,
jokes
you
out
look
there.
fantastic. That dress fits you beautifully. It's comfortable, right? Do you feel like you could do a cheer or something in it as well? Well, you look
We won't ask you to
fantastic.
do that today.
That dress is from LA. It's by a company called Glam. Super affordable, super well fitting. I love that dress. You look fabulous.
We're going to
Yeah.
have to
Kind
cut
of
somebody.
that elastic band just
Yeah.
allows you to be
Denise,
really
you're going to have to call the
comfortable.
bouncer. We have
Right.
to cut somebody off over there.
I
Denise
know,
was
right? Is
serving
that the
for
second one?
For our audience, Denise was serving alcohol, and they're just spilling all over the place.
To be fair, it's the water. They came in with those flimsy
That's what
bottoms.
they always say, the
I
water.
love the fact that we're bringing up this little
Me
segment.
Too. This is such a great
Mindy.
dress.
Right, with Miss Mindy. I love this dress. She came into the store when we first opened. She didn't even try it on. She's like, that is my
So elegant.
dress.
The tassels coming off the front are
Stunning.
amazing.
I love that you're wearing it with cute little strappy sandals right now to show how summery that dress is. Love those earrings. I recognize those as well. The gold is perfect. But you could also cowboy boot, jean jacket, and wear that in the wintertime. You could put
1000%.
pumps on and wear it in the fall. It's just stunning. And it looks fabulous on you. Is it lightweight? Do you think you could wear that in the summer here? Yeah. And it's very wash and wear, correct? Yeah. I think you could throw that in your bag as well as you're running to catch the plane to Crete.
Love it. Looking
Ooh.
good. Looking
Right?
Good, man.
Right.
Let's do it. You
All right,
look
who's
fabulous,
stepping up
Mindy.
next?
Jump on a plane.
Oh,
Annie.
it looks like we've got some of our girls are in their next outfits. I got Sue over here. Oh, stop
Wow,
it.
Look at
Sue.
With
the heart-
oh my
satin down
goodness.
the side,
The
the glitter
heartbreaker.
down the side of the pants.
Okay, those pants are
Unbelievable.
to die. They are. They're stretchy to begin with, which you wouldn't be able to tell. I love that hint of sparkle on the edge. It's just the right amount of sparkle, right? It's not too Las Vegas. It's perfect. And I love your sweater. And you're wearing a cami or a tank top underneath that? I love
metallic
it.
cami,
I
she
like the
said.
metallic cami. I like how it is paired black all the way down. Although I would say you could wear that with just a bustier underneath, and that would be bomb as well. Depending on the evening, depending on the date, right?
Right.
Yeah,
it's perfect. The
That is
pants are
super
my
cute.
fave. They
Those
look so
pants
good.
are, ironically, those pants are from Lulu Bee, the performance wear company, which is amazing. And the blouse is by Glam again. It's that really fabulous LA company, super affordable, super wearable. You look like you could go out to lunch, out to date. You could go dancing all night long. I love that outfit. It's
pretty
perfect.
versatile. You're right about that.
Yeah.
You're right
and
about
cool.
that.
Yeah, super groovy on you. All right, next we've gone from the golf course. Wow, from the golf course.
Now we're at the gala.
I know. Wow.
We're at the gala.
Look at that outfit. Okay, quick change. Amazing. Shelby, that outfit is so beautiful. Those are the paparazzi satin cargo pants that were all the rage this winter. We could not keep them in stock. You may have gotten the very last pair.
It's so cool because the pockets are low.
They are. They're
I love that
super. They've got a
detail.
relaxed fly vibe,
detail.
right? I love the elastic at the bottom and how you've got them with heels. But that blouse, Leslie, our stylist up front, pulled that blouse for you. It's perfect. Can we see the back? Okay, it's a high-low blouse, which means it's going to cover the bum a little bit, which if you're feeling like you want that covered, that's great for a high-low blouse. And then if you open up your arms, those are dolman sleeves, which are beautiful. They're super flattering. They hide if you want to hide, but they also kind of snatch at the same time. That's a very, very beautiful
I'm a
outfit.
fan of that.
That's a beautiful outfit. I would wear that outfit 2 days a week, easy. Gorgeous. Yeah. And that
nice.
color on you is fantastic.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Compliments you well.
You know, you can tell the ladies like their clothes by their smiles.
Yes.
I've been fortunate enough to do some like charity fashion shows, and back in a day when I was younger and thinner, I did some runway modeling myself, and you could always tell who was going to get hired back by how they smiled about what they wore.
Yeah, for
always.
sure.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than an outfit.
I was
you can
sharing
get
this
in.
with Matthew before, if you don't mind. Like I spent some time with Denise, and she loves this. This is her world. Matthew was like, "Wow, this must be, really a difficult
lot of work,
world, a
like,
lot of
to
work."
run a
And I'm
clothing
like, it is, but off record, Denise loves this. This is her
Love,
world. See,
love. I love it.
See, so
Love
I was
it.
like,
and I was nervous
it
to
is
get
the
into
little girl's
fashion.
dream, right?
It is. I feel like we're playing dress up.
For sure.
And I was nervous to get into fashion because I didn't know enough about fashion. And I'm not a skinny model girl. I'm like, well, what am I going to wear? But what I've learned in the last 6 months, that my biggest takeaway is feeling good is all about feeling good, right? And we all know that confidence is the sexiest attribute. Get anybody in here wearing the right shape for their body, and they're going to feel like $1 million. It doesn't matter if it's a $10 outfit or if you're a size whatever. If you like what you wear, you're going to feel like $1 million. And that's my goal, is to have ladies leaving here feeling like $1 million.
Gotcha.
You know?
And to your point, right? That last blouse that we showed, that's such a good example. Like women, there are women who want to cover up the butt, right? But maybe they're not necessarily looking to cover up the front,
Right.
But then there's other pieces in here where everything's covered or nothing's covered. Like
Absolutely.
there's so much to choose from in here.
So much. Well, I bought
And
this
great
dress
colors.
here with the long sleeves because I like to cover my arms some days.
There you go.
It just depends on the day. Do we have time to see a few more outfits? Or
We do.
Yeah, for sure.
I would
Let's bring 'em
love
out.
that.
Let's
Let's
go.
bring these
Let's go.
ladies back. It
Oh,
is
look at this
so
one.
much fun doing the
Wow.
shopping. Okay.
stunning.
Anna, this dress, this is made in Italy. This is from one of our favorite designers. His name is Emilio Milano. And this dress is what got my husband's attention at the fashion show. I took him with me to go buying. He's like, I'll carry the bags. And I pulled this up. It was the first thing I pulled up. I said, honey, what do you think? And my husband, Andrew, big guy, he's like, that's gorgeous. And
It is.
that's why we bought it. And can we get a little twirl? You look
the 3 layers, right?
amazing.
That's like that's a 10 out of 10 model, Anna. There you go.
Yeah, that
Nice
you look
job.
so beautiful. I would wear that dress to prom, to a wedding, to a bridal shower. If I were getting married again, I would wear that as my wedding dress.
Yes, that works
I would wear that to
Oh,
go to
that's such a
Elliot's
great
across the
idea.
street.
You're totally
Absolutely,
right.
yeah.
You can rock that out to just about
That
anything.
dress is beautiful. That dress does take a specific body type, but it is spectacular, and you are rocking it, Anna.
do it, Anna. Good job.
Beautiful, yeah. That's our beige tiered dress by Emilio Milano.
Okay.
And then we've got Mindy back.
Bring it back in.
Oh yeah.
Mindy,
Oh
number
yeah.
one.
Okay. This is one of my favorite stories. Look at this cute spring dress. I bought this dress on
love
my
the
first
colors.
buying trip, and I showed it to Mindy before we even opened. And I said, "This dress
Really
is not for
pops.
sale yet." And she's like, "I want that dress." And it looks so
Well, it's got the
fabulous
tassels
on
in
you.
the front again, like
right?
the other one that
yeah.
she had, which is a neat design feature.
And people love that. If you feel modest, or if you're going to church and you want to tie it up, go for it, And you could wear it with stockings and flats or whatever. But it's really got a cute Saturday date night vibe, Sunday lunch with the girls.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's really nice, too.
Yeah.
They're both like, I don't have
It's
even a
super
strong
pretty.
opinion one way or the
That's
other.
what it
They
is.
It's a
both look
flattering
nice.
dress. That dress is by a brand called Veronica M. They're no longer available, unfortunately, but we still have a few pieces left of their
Okay.
work. And on you with your hair color, that is just gorgeous.
That's it.
Absolutely
I love the color of
gorgeous.
it.
Yeah.
The colors.
The
of it,
colors,
yeah.
absolutely. I think I've got Anna changing to show us one more
Okay,
outfit,
all
but
right.
I want to tell you a little bit of a funny story. Mindy came in here when we first opened, and she brought her mom Eddie with her.
Okay.
And Eddie was going to be one of our models today. And Mindy first said when we came in, she said, "My mother's a particular shopper. She knows what she likes." And my first thought when I hear that is always like, okay, I'm ready. Well, first of all, I know your mom. We've sat at an ICANN table before. Mindy and I, one of the reasons we do go way back is from ICANN. But Eddie is delightful. She's a beautiful, beautiful, elegant woman. And she came in and she said, yes, Mindy's right. I'm very particular about what I buy. And she bought so many things. And she looks so cute. And we had this pair of overalls, like sporty overalls that you'd see girls wearing on a Saturday or whatever. And we're like, please try these on. And she says, I'm not an overall girl. Well, she tried them on. She wore them and she sent me pictures. She bought it. She came back for a second pair. And they're something that you would expect to see a teen or a 20-something wear. But this grandmother comes bopping in her high hair. She just looked amazing. And I felt like you both left and I was able to dress the mother and the daughter. And if Nico had been here, I would have found something for him too.
That's great.
But I love the fact that generationally we had different sizes and ages and designs in here, and they both left.
Well, and I like that you said,
smiling.
like, I took it as a challenge. Like, I'm tough to dress. Yeah, bring it on.
Bring it
We
on,
got that.
absolutely. You
All
know
right.
what? I'm tough to dress, so I figure if it's hard for me,
You
I
have
want to
been
help.
asked by the gallery. We need to get you on the runway.
That's what they're- that's what
This is a
Let's
cute dress.
do it.
It
Go.
is.
We'll save the best for last.
Okay,
We have one more.
Oh, there
We
we
have
go.
one more.
Well, we got to see what Anna's wearing over here.
go,
Come on
Anna.
out, Anna.
Anna
Oh
again.
my
All right.
goodness.
This screams Arizona.
This screen. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to show it.
Yeah.
That does. That is a romper. Rompers are all the rage this year. Does that one have pockets too? It does. Oh my goodness. Rompers are all the rage. They're fabulous for traveling in. Again, you can roll that up and put it in your purse if you want to. It's sexy with high heels and an updo and a cute little bolero jacket, or just like this with flip-flops and something casual. It's very Saturday. You could go to Home Depot, throw something on, go out to date night.
Anything.
Yeah. And again,
Really?
look at that smile on her face. You like
Yes.
that.
She like- yes.
Rompers are nice. I like wearing a dress, but sometimes they're not practical, Yeah. That romper is by, I think that's by, that's by
Patrizia Luca.
Milio. Oh.
Another Paisan?
Well done. Another Paisan, Milio Milano.
Italians.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Close.
Thank you, Anna. You look gorgeous.
Yes.
We love their work. We've learned a lot in the last 6 months. There are some companies that have already raised their prices, even though tariffs are still up in the air, and I don't think that's friendly. So we're going to just lose them. And there are companies that want to work with us, and there are companies that really, really are here to support small businesses. And Milio being one of them. They want to come and do a trunk show with us.
do it.
The
So
owner
cool.
buys us breakfast when we go to shop.
The
They're
one
just
that makes those clothes? Right there?
yes,
That's beautiful.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful. Made in
Yeah.
Italy.
There you go.
I know.
You gotta hit
Let's
the
do it.
runway.
Okay.
We've been talking about the blue dress that she's got on, and she's going to hit the runway right now. So for our audience that's watching Move the Needle on YouTube right now, while we're in it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button while you're here. And there it is. There it is.
Denise, Boutique.
Now, we can't talk to her because nobody can hear, so we got to wait for her to get back.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there it is. That's for everybody on the camera. All right, come on back and have a seat. We've got so many questions. It's awesome. It's such a great, bright color blue. That's what I like about
gorgeous?
it. Yeah. Like, it stands out.
It does. I
Yeah.
love it. And I wore it with tennis shoes too,
Right.
because I'm on my feet all day long,
Right.
and I don't need to be running around in high heels at my age. I just feel a little safer. But it's super cute as well. Now, this dress is from this dress is from Elle Eternal. They're a Canadian company. So we're hoping that their prices won't be affected overly because we love this company. But this is part of the something for everybody. I have one dress. I don't know if you can see it on the wall over there. Same company, same pattern. Long, sleeveless, meant for somebody young. maybe tight, I don't know. And then this fun dress for somebody who wants to be a little bit more conservative today. I did just come off a 3-day vacation, so you know how that is.
Where were you at?
Well, it was a staycation. It was our anniversary, so
congratulations.
we stayed home and ate
How
for
many
3
years?
days. 29.
29 years.
29.
Congratulations.
On Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, we had a Scottish wedding on Cinco de Mayo.
Beautiful.
But something for everybody. I feel pretty in this dress. I feel comfortable. After this, we're going out to dinner. I'm appropriately dressed. That's what we're here for, right?
nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much for
thank
having
you.
us in
Thank
your
you.
spot.
Yes, thank you for your
you.
hospitality. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for having us, not only Divine Gourmet here at Boutique on Boston. We're huge fans. You know that from the beginning.
Well,
And-
back at ya.
yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, we're going to continue this. This dance is going to go on for a long time.
Let's go.
Well,
we just all
I
got,
love
we just all
I
got
love
started.
working with you guys. I think
Thank
Move
you.
the Needle is amazing. You guys are killing it. Keep up the good work, and I'm honored to be a part of this anytime. So thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
good
thank
venue
you.
for us. We'll
Yes.
come in here and podcast
Yes.
anytime you like.
Yeah,
you know?
we got a couple more Chandler sponsors coming on board too. Might as well get a chance to thank them
Yeah.
before we go.
Brooklyn V's, Darwin Wall Real Estate, the Tudor Doctor.
Yeah, and we got to go. Well, I won't mention them yet. Probably next Chandler we will
Okay.
have a couple others coming out. But we could always give a shout out to Spike and his downtown
Of course.
Ocotillo places, 'cause they've been also very generous to us.
Amy Richardson.
Amy
Yeah,
Richardson.
just
But
great
we'll be at the
people.
Living Room. Bottle and Beans, a big sponsor of ours too. So we're consistently there. All
are
those
great
places.
places.
Though. So downtown Ocotillo. There's downtown Chandler and there's downtown Ocotillo. That's really those are the two pulses really.
They
of the
are,
whole
and they're very
areas.
different, and they're
Yes.
both fabulous.
Very
People are, and
Yeah.
I love the way the people intermingle. It's not like there's this group and that group. Everybody
Right.
goes to both, right?
We're all here to have fun. But I don't know,
Exactly.
Brooklyn V's, ever since you said Brooklyn V's, now and
Now
talking
you
about
want pizza?
Italian, now I feel like I want pizza for
I
dinner.
have to go there every time I
Yeah.
go there. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, we're going to take a wrap.
And actually, Craft
and-
64. Let's give a
Yeah.
shout out to them too, because they're right down the street. They
sure.
sponsor us here, James, and also in Scottsdale too.
Yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for watching our Move the Needle podcast. We're looking forward to seeing everybody for episode 42 next week. See ya.
Thank you.